All right, so for this scramble, I'm gonna do red and orange centers first. I noticed that there's actually a way for me to build my red center while preserving this orange bar. The first 2/3 of this red center, I could put this piece in and I'll put this corner and line for this, which is another 3-move insert. And all of that keeps this orange bar in place. This red corner should go down here and the last piece stays here. So I'm gonna go ahead and execute that. I would do it like that, and I'll do F prime, U prime. That way, because if I just do an F, or not an F, a wide U prime, this is going to break apart this bar. I have to do an F prime first to push it, to keep it out of the way. And I know that the last piece is over here, so I'll probably rotate like this. And as I'm finishing my red center, I see this orange bar in the back, or I know that it's there. Probably not going to solve it first, but first thing I'm going to do is probably to put this together, and this puts it in place actually for this 3-move insert for a 2x2 over here. And now seeing the rest of my orange pieces, I think it's actually better if I break apart this 1x3 bar to instead form this 2x3 and then cancel into forming this last bar, which then I can insert like that. Then I do a Z prime. First thing I see is I can form a green T like this, and the rest of the green center is actually very easy to form because I know that there's 2 ways that I can bring this centerpiece down. I could either bring it in like this, or I can bring it in like this. And the second option is better because it pairs this green bar over here. Now, for my last center, I'll probably go ahead and just do yellow, form these 2 pieces, or yeah, form this 2x2, form a 2x3 on bottom, and then I'll do a D prime and I'll go ahead and finish my yellow center while noticing that I have these 2 red pieces in place. So, and I see that my third, my midge is here. So I can actually do L and then F prime B to not only put these 2 pieces in place, but also to put this red yellow edge in a nice spot. And I'll do D2, R prime, and then I'll do F prime, U prime, F prime. And the reason why I do that is because I put this green yellow in place, I put this orange yellow in place, and that also brings this orange yellow to a nice place that can be inserted. And I also saw that doing so will set the next orange yellow into another 3-move insert. So I will go ahead and do that. And then I see all my blue pieces over here, blue and yellow. For this particular case, it's best if I do R prime, F prime, U, R to set them up to this trigger. And this trigger can be done like this. And then I only have one cross edge left on green. So I'll just do D2, and from here it's pretty straightforward. F prime, U prime, F, F, U prime, F prime to set up this midge to a 3-move insert, R prime, another 3-move insert, and then R. And then I want to join this blue bar to this cross edge, so I'll go ahead and do that. And for this case, I'll actually bring this 2x1 to here, put this again to the left, and I also just happen to notice that this entire edge is solved, so I'll actually insert it in the back first, and then I'll go ahead and finish my last 2 centers. That way I just start off with a free edge that I know is back here. So yeah, first edge I see is red and blue is paired up, almost done, and its pieces over here. So I can rotate, slice, and then next thing I can do is I can actually insert like this to set up for orange and blue, and then I can undo. And it turns out that I also noticed that not only was this edge here that I preserved, this green white edge was also given to me for free. So now I only have 4 edges left. And then we can just go ahead and do cycles. cycle these pieces first. And then as I'm cycling these pieces, I see I can replace them with this piece so that when I slice back, it forms this bar as well. And then I can finish white, blue, and white, orange in one cycle, like this. And that leaves me with last two edges case. And then 3x3 stage. Right? Blue is not a bad center to start with. Red is pretty good as well. I think I'm gonna start with red. And yeah, red is the best option. So what I see in inspection is if I do U prime and then L2 U prime L2, or wide L2s, then that's going to form a 2x2 down here. And it's also going to push a 2x2 over here. And that's going to form a 2x2 over here. And I know that by doing, after all that sequence, by doing F2 wide R prime, that's going to form a 2x3 down here, while keeping this piece over here. And this edge is going to be somewhere along this R layer, which if I do a D prime after forming 2/3 of this red center, that's going to make the red center very easy to solve. So I went ahead and do that. Okay, so this is how much I saw in inspection, 2/3, and I also knew this would be up here. And I see that my last red cross pieces, or center piece is over here. So I can just go ahead and solve it. Then I see this L shape in orange. I'll just do 3 moves to set up this bar. Then I see this is 3 moves away from forming another bar. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then I see 2 pieces over here for my last bar, and the third piece is over here. So I can do F prime, and then I can set them up like this, and then I can solve this to the left. And while doing that, I saw that I had this green bar. I'll do an F prime to start so that it stays to the left. I'll rotate up, and I see that I can form my middle green bar pretty easily by doing F prime and then using these wide moves to solve this green center to the bottom. And I'll rotate up once more to see the rest of my green centers, which I can see by doing wide R2. And then I can solve these in the back like this. And because I solved green in the back, it's better to go with white because white is already on the bottom. So if I can keep white on the bottom, I don't have to rotate when I transition to Hoya. So in order to do that, I can start by forming this 2x2. And then I know that if I do wide L prime U2L, not only will this insert this bar in place, but it'll also form a 2x1 over here, which then allows me to solve my last part of my white center. And while doing that, I see both of these blue-white wings have gone next to each other, and I also happen to see the midge over here. So I'll go ahead and solve blue-white first. Then I see that I have these 2 pieces in place. So I'll go ahead and solve these by doing F2 and then insert those in. DF to start on my green, but because I didn't see green pieces immediately, instead I saw 2 of these red pieces, I'll actually choose to go to the red pieces by doing U prime, D prime, and F. And the reason why I do that U prime is because if I just did F, this is not set up very well, but if I do U prime first, it will get set up to a 3 move case. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then I see that my red, white, last piece is over here. And there's actually a nice trigger you can do for that. And then I'll do D prime to solve my last green and white edge. And because I know the midge is over here, this actually sets up to a nice 3 move trigger like this. So put the green edge next to the bar, and then his last two centers like that. First thing I notice is its green and yellow can be paired up here to form our first edge. So I'll insert it in the back and solve it to the back. And that gives me a better view for what other pieces I can solve next. In this case, I see red and blue over here. I can insert in the back, insert over here, and I can slice, flip, slice. And while doing that, I see my third edge, which is going to be green and orange. So I can insert them over here. And then my last edge is going to be blue and yellow because I saw this midge over here. This piece can be inserted up here, and then last one right there. We'll do J trigger, rotate. First thing is I can cycle to solve blue and orange and red and yellow at the same time. And then it's just slice, flip, slice, and 3x3 stage. I think blue center is the best way to go. By solving this blue piece to form the middle bar, that sets this piece up to be joined with these bars. And if I do an additional L, that'll preserve as 2x1. So the only piece I would have to track is this corner over here to solve my entire blue center. So it's like that. And I tracked my blue corner center to be up here, so I can finish it down in the layer. I'll go ahead and immediately solve a green 2x2 like this. And I see that I have another 2x1 over here that can form a 2x3. I see at a quick glance that I only have one green piece over here, which means that the other green pieces must be at the back. So solve them like that. And those are my blue and green centers. And I'll go ahead and solve orange centers first because it's not bad. And I actually see in this case that if I solve this outer bar with these three pieces, this orange piece is going to be inserted over here, and those will solve two bars at once. So just to show you what that looks like, just track this piece while I'm forming this outer bar. See? And then I'll go ahead and join those two bars together. I'll rotate, and then I'll just solve this orange bar to the back. And this leaves yellow at the bottom. And I see that there's already a edge center connected to the yellow center. So I can connect this other center piece to form a middle bar. And then I can go ahead and join this bar down here. But before I do that, I'm gonna bring this yellow center piece over here so that when I do an L, it forms my third bar. So as I'm pushing this 2x3 out of the way, I can also do an F prime to cancel into solving the yellow center. Okay, first thing I see is this orange piece can go over here using this trigger. I'll do an R prime to put this green yellow piece in place. But before I do that, I also noticed I can get my blue yellow cross edge. And the way I'll do that is I'll do U prime D to start, hedge to set it up to this trigger. And then I'll go ahead and solve my red piece next, like that. And then I also see that I have both green and orange. I'm gonna do orange first because I knew that I had two orange pieces adjacent to each other. So I can just do M2, U2, M2, or M, U2, M prime, whatever. And then I only have these two green pieces can be solved like this. This is probably not a super great trigger, but this is what I use for this case, where if you did, these would be joined up here. You can do this. And then my last yellow edge piece can be done like that. F prime or F, solve a 2x2, solve this 3x3 or 2x3, and then solve the rest of the centers. First thing I'll start with is red and white. Insert to the back. And I can also insert this in the back. Then I'll go ahead and do orange and white next because I see I can insert these two pieces like this and form the edge to the left. Similar story for blue and white. And then it just so happens that green and white is the last of the middle four edges that I can solve. I don't usually target edges in such a way so that I always get like white edges like on top, but in this case, that's just what happened. Before I actually do the J trigger, I'm gonna flip slice to solve this case. I'm gonna rotate and I'll take this out like that. For this case, I actually know that flip slice to solve this edge is probably the best way to go. And I can do R prime into this last two edges case, which should be, see if I remember it. That's not it, okay. I don't know why I suddenly forgot it. It's probably just muscle memory. But yeah, now it's just 3x3 stage.